Stars, I'm a fool for your love.
Hey guys, you join me here, Snowman86, and we are on cattle and crops. As you can see, we are still pressing through here with our seeding. We have a good chunk of the map seeded, and we'll bring that up there now in a second. So as I say, we are just here and just seeding away at our leisure here across the field. You'll see we are running, I'll just bring up the HUD to show you, we are running currently around 5:30 on a February day, and the light is just starting to fade now, so we have our lights on. And I will say the lighting system here is quite nice. We'll just jump out of cab here a second and we'll just show you just an overview of what we're dealing with. So you can kind of see you have your light beams and just working really nice. So we're going to just tip away with that. And again, we have our GPS line set up there, as you can see from the lines on the ground, and we are tipping away. Now we are applying fertilizer on this trip around. The idea being that anywhere that we put down the digestate will be a little bit low on, I believe it's potassium, or phosphate is it. So what we are doing is we are just applying straight phosphate, superphosphate onto the ground. We're just going to clip that tree. So we're applying it straight, with the idea being that hopefully we should then see a return in our, hopefully, our yield of our crop. Now we will bring the map up here just to show you where we are. We have seeded field 10, which we will just can't highlight. We'll go in here. So we have seeded field 10, and we can see that by clicking on this tab here, but we did not put any fertilizer like we were discussing. So any second now the map should update, or it's not going to do it there. But if we go here, we will see it, and we have it seeded. So that is a great start for us, and simply now we're just going to press along here, and as I say, we will not be using any fertilizer on that, and we're going to compare the two fields just to see, does it really affect the yield. I would be surprised if it didn't, I'm not going to lie. In other news, there has been a note sent out, I suppose, on cattle and crops, that they will be sending out another quick update before the release of version 1. And this update is simply just kind of a tidying thing, I believe. That's our line. So this one will just be kind of tidying and just implement a couple more features into the gameplay. I believe one of the things they've missed out on the license they were using for their feed wagon and stuff, so they'll be changing that to the standard hammer. So that will be coming as well, and possibly another couple of policy and features as well, and updates, which will hopefully make the game more playful for most of you guys out there. So you can see we are halfway across, I believe it's field 18. Yep, field 18, we are halfway across it. So we are getting there nicely, and we're just going to flick back to our fertilizer map so we can just make sure that we are, if I zoom in here, when that changes over, you'll see our rates are a little bit hit and miss. I don't quite think it's applying fertilizer all the time, which is a bit upsetting. Either that or my rate is a bit low, but just as I look at the bar here on the right hand side, you'll see it hasn't dropped at all. So I don't know how well it's applying the fertilizer to the field, and it's starting to drop there a bit more regularly. So that might be one thing for them to look at as well. just doesn't seem to want to drop it down to where it should. And that is one thing for us to note as we go forward here, that maybe applying fertilizer in our seeding process is not going to be a win. You'll see it dropping away mad now again, so we are laying it on this track, but for some reason we have missed the odd track here and there, so it will affect us, but overall we should be seeing a healthy balance. Fingers crossed that we'll be in a healthy balance anyway, guys. Just an update as well, I don't think we will be doing any live streams in the short term. We attempted to join a server recently and just had a horrible experience. It was a racing game server for Race Room, and just absolutely no hope in hell were we getting in there to do a race. So that has kind of bummed me out a little bit, because I was hoping we were through that, but we still have a couple of teething issues to work around, so we'll be looking, hopefully we find a solution to all our issues, but one can never be too optimistic in these things, so we're just going to kind of plow away as we're doing for now. And we just go out of cab here just for a little bit. And we lower our seeder in. So we have a chunk of fields here left to finish out. We still have to do the field to the right of us here, and then we have our big field as well just alongside the BGA, which also needs to be seeded. So there's still a chunk of work to be done here, but we are pressing on, same day from the previous video, just later in the day, and we are just seeding as hard and as fast as we can. We've had to fill the seeder up twice already, so this is its third fill, I believe, so we are eating through seed, and thankfully we are still on the first round of fertilizer we bought. Whether that is good or bad, I don't know. As I say, we are not dropping it evenly across the field. So as I say, guys, slightly bummed out about the lack of ability to live stream yet. As I say, I do a bit more research on it and see if I can come up with a solution that works for myself. Unfortunately, it's just the location where I am, just not beneficial. Are we seeding there? Yes, we are. So it's getting kind of trickier to tell in the light. But we're nearly out of field 18 here. Another couple of passes and we are done. So we will be seeding through the night. I'd say the rate is looking here. We'll definitely be at it up till 10 or 11 o'clock in game time. So we'll see how we go, and if we are, we might look at maybe just showing a little bit of nighttime footage as well. I know it's not the best way to record, as you limited in what you can see, but again, we'll just give us a chance to show off what the game does look like in night and how well it runs. Actually, what we can do here quickly is I will just show you my graphics setup. So if you go here to graphics, this is what we are currently running on. So you can see our filtering, we've it all the way up Our imposter render distance is up high, vegetation distance, the faded distance is a little bit lower. This is the value that when I turn it to 2, it just becomes very stuttery, very hard to play. Brightness, and that's the scale. And then effects, we have everything kind of turned up high. We've turned off motion blur, and again we've everything else kind of up and ready and working, and we are getting pretty good results. But as I say, the minute we turn that vegetation density up to 2, really does just affect the game. It does not want to do it, which is a shame, because your crops and everything just look a lot healthier in the field and stuff with that on. So just a little bit of a shame that one isn't working out quite as we'd like. But here's hoping before we get to version 1, either this update or at version 1, that we'll have a solution for that. So we're just going to go back in cab here, and we're just going to again minimize our HUD and turn back on our tracking, and we're away again. So hopefully this will be the last video of seeding. After that we will be into maintaining our cattle. Time again will advance in the game, and we also have our BGA, which is still fermenting at the moment. Once fermented, we will be selling again, so we'll be setting up our hired worker to be over there, and he will be the one selling it for us, just as you can fill it. Possibly, I have it set to 3, but you could possibly squeeze a 4th out of it. So you can sell 4 loads, which is 120,000 litres a day. And if you're doing that with a loader that can only fill it at 3,000 litres every go, it's just becoming very repetitive. So we do have that set to the worker, and also the feeding of cattle is set to the worker, but we might take that back off him. And maybe just set it up that when we know we're advancing 3, 4, 5 days, we can turn it back on. Into this one. So as I say, we might, when we're in and around working in the same kind of time frame, we will keep it maybe to ourselves. But for now it is set on the worker, and as you can see there, as we pass over just now, the different direction we pulled our cultivator in, and even the bumps it takes there with the tractor, is just, again, adds a nice touch. We went across the ground a different way to what we should have been, well, not should have been doing, but different way to what we are doing, and you can see how it affected the ride of the tractor. So lots of little nice features there. So we're just going to throw it back on, check our seed level. We're starting to run a little bit low on seed, so we want to keep an eye on that. Definitely don't want to be running out. So this should see us 3 passes left. Should see our field out, and just to make 100% sure again, if we pop here into our field menu and click on the cultivated icon, this here shows that they're linked. So as one is going down, one is going up, and you'll see there's a couple of patches missed in there. I'm not sure how that happened. Not sure why that happened there now, but it has. So we leave it go as it is. Um, we're not going to be driving through the field again, just to plant a couple of areas that the seeder missed. So we'll see how that affects it as we go. Shouldn't be the biggest yield loss either, considering the size of the field to what we haven't planted. So we do have, as I say, 2 passes left to do. I'm just going to swing ourselves back around here for this one. And you can actually clearly see those sections here now as we pass through. For some odd reason, seeder just didn't kick in over them. So I've noticed that a few times, but it's just for some odd reason, and maybe it's the same reason why we're not getting fertilizer done all the time. It seems to be like it's down, but it's not making contact with the ground. So not sure, is that an issue? Well, obviously it is an issue, but how easily fixable it is, we're not 100% sure. So you see a kick there and it's missing, so we're just going to hit the brakes. So we've witnessed that one there now for ourselves, so we're just going to hit reverse. Hopefully we can reverse somewhat straight. Actually, we're just going to lift up and we're just going to lower it again and just see, is it something, is so, and now it's kicked back in, I believe. So we have missed another small section in this field. So there is obviously something with the train that when it hits that bump, it just throws it off. So as I say, not perfect, but definitely. And we're missing here now again as we go across, and we've just kicked in. So little things I've noticed, sometimes the hammer drill, it does need a little bit of tweaking. It's definitely not 100%. Sometimes when you're stationary, the drill will just kind of push you around even though it shouldn't be. So there's definitely areas there to be improved. And as we run across our last section here, guys, we will be calling this one a day. Nice and short here today. As I say, we're not going to bore you too much with all this seeding. But this has been another episode of Cattle and Crops. I've been Snowman86, guys, and we're just going to, as I say, keep on going here. Try and get as much of this done as we can. We have this machine on lease, and we have it for another, I think it might be kind of maybe 20 hours or so. So we're just going to push on through. We have 2 fields left to do, and that will be our spring seeding complete. So guys, with that said, thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you all again. Take care.